Hi, Rigsters Journey here, and now we're back with another episode on this journey. I'm going to be trying out another rental premium from this World of Gaming's anniversary thing I got from the missions for 42 matches, the StrvS1 Swedish Tank Destroyer. Let's take a look at its stats real quick soon, but I'm going to show you how to do the consumables. So basically, to go into there for any tanks that are tier 5 or up. You just click on the consumable plus sign here. I usually put small repair kit in the slot 4 because I'm used to that key binding. You can put it in whatever slot you feel comfortable with. And after you click those perspective spots down here, you just click apply. And there you go. Now you have consumables. Now I have a lot in inventory, which sometimes you can earn through missions or doing events as well, just like any other thing in this game. Let's just go over the stats real briefly here. The average damage is 390. I think max theoretical, yeah, it might be 400. The rate of fire is much faster than the low, 6.14, which means a 9.78 gun loading time. And these rental premiums give you 100% crew by default. So the stats are at the maximum they can be. Pretty fast aim time. Dispersion is not as good, but maybe the aim time is a little bit better. The hull armor is way weaker, but also scroll down, you'll see why that is the case, because this tank with a power rate ratio of 16.36 per ton, the higher that number is, the more responsive and faster you can move across. You can go 50 kilometers forward and 45 kilometers backwards. That's insane. Most tanks in this game do not go much faster than 20 kilometers backwards for scout vehicles, so that's very fast. This tank has a mechanic called Siege and Travel Mode. Those speeds are reflected in Travel Mode. When you're in Siege Mode, which you go way slower. The concealment is insane too. 471 concealment rating, which means unlike the low, you can be very sneaky in this tank. And the radio range is really good, 887. That's like top tier of the class for tank destroyers. That's pretty high up there. The view range is mediocre. You have to rely on other people to spot for you more often than not. So I'm going to take this tank into a battle. Before I do that real quick, I'm going to see what the shell cost on this is for the default APCR round. Oh my goodness. Another one that has 1,160 credits per shot. However, it has very good shell velocity at 1,450. And the max theoretical pen is 278, max theoretical 488. Interesting. I wonder if HE is way cheaper. Yep, it is. 810. But the shell pen is a little less than the low at 53 millimeters. But that's still enough to take down some light tanks and artillery pretty quickly. So I'll see you in the match. Alright, and so this match and map actually is well suited for this tank because this is a sniper tank. It's a tank destroyer. So the playstyle of this tank is vastly different than the low from the first episode series of my journey. So what I'm going to do is hold down the A key, rotate my hull in place. You also, with tank destroyers, you can move your mouse and it'll start following your cursor. And since we're in travel mode, which is denoted by the two little arrows that say 2.0 in the middle of the screen, which is right around here, that allow me to go fast, in forwards or reverse. However, my dispersion and rate of fire is terrible in this mode. So I'm going to be heading towards E1 and see what I can do there. The Haltiverse in this tank is actually not too bad. There is an artillery piece on the field, so I gotta find some cover too before switching to siege. I'm gonna move up just a little bit more because I think I'm a little bit too far back. So I'm gonna try moving past this Panther here. Alright, well, never mind. I'm not gonna move past it. Okay, update. It's the X key. They changed it to the X key. It used to be the B key when I played Swedish tank destroyers in the credit line. Because I had it up to that tank beforehand, but now they changed it to X, which I have no idea why. So now I'm in siege mode. So now I'm just going to wait for them to come. And as you can see in siege mode, I only can go 7 kilometers forward and backwards. But my aim and dispersion is vastly improved. So now I can actually hit stuff where I'm aiming, because the hull will move with me. One nice thing about this is you can move slow and sneak up on people to a point. So I'm going to take a shot at this guy. Whoop. Why did I not fire? So I couldn't fire because I binded my keys wrong. Alright, quick readjustment that allowed me to fire the gun again. I was trying to figure out where the siege mode button was, because this is one of the few tanks that has that, for this line in particular. This is the premium version now, not the credit version. There's probably some minor differences between the two. So let me see here. Take a good shot on the FV. Wow, right through the turret. I kind of like this tank more as my playstyle preference for tank destroyers. I like ones that rely a little more on stealth, even though artillery likes to have a field day with you. Definitely want to start maneuvering a little bit because I did get detected. So let's switch to travel mode. Get out of here. So I'm backing up at 40 kilometers an hour. It's nuts. So let me switch back to siege mode behind this bush instead. You have to wait 2 seconds. And if the engine's damaged or your track's damaged, you can be very vulnerable in this tank. So it can't have everything in this vehicle, but it definitely can deflect shots at range. So I'll switch back to travel because I don't want to be driving 7 kilometers. Across the field there, that would make it very hard to play. So I almost got a shot off the Indine, but he disappeared, so I didn't want to waste a shell. Wasting ammo's not a good way of earning money in this game, so sometimes you do have to hold fire quite frequently. So I'm gonna, luckily when your hull rotation speed's not affected, it's just your forward and backward speed's affected. Trying to see where they are. It's 4 to 7 right now. Let's see what we got here. Still in siege mode. Trying to get a shot on the Indine, and boom, 473 damage. Deflected their shot. That was definitely worth it. It's worth moving up to do that with the super version here. Oh, yeah, I don't want him to die on me here though. Oh no, the Primo Victoria Premium got him. Oh, I missed. Yeah, Premium Victoria was a limited edition premium Swedish British Centurion tank. Quite a mouthful. And my track's damaged, so I gotta fix that right away, along with the crew. Because I do not want to be able to not shoot back. Well, doesn't matter, because the Borgorski decides to just come on in and say, hey. That was pretty good. Let's see how much damage it did on my very first match in this tank. I never played this particular vehicle before, and that wasn't too bad. 1,249 damage, 200 more than my raw hit points. That could make some good profit. I'll see you back in the garage. Alright, and we're back. So, first match profits. Let's see here. I only fired 4 shots. I would have fired 6 if I didn't do that rebonding goof. 19,174 on the very first match. That's actually really good for first play. So I'll go into battle and see what I do in the second one. Alright, and we're back. So, this is a city map. Oh boy. Yeah, city maps are not very friendly to stealth-based tank destroyers. However, working the K to J9 area could work out. So let's go into travel mode and get there quickly. I think this tank will still do well because the spread is very well balanced. Tier 8s, 7s, and a few 6s. I think, nope, oops. Yeah, just 7s and 8s. That's really impressive. I'm pretty happy with that. So let's get down to the field. This map is always fun though. I love Insk. Insk can be quite an enjoyable experience in most tanks. This one is going to be a little tricky. I want to get up just enough so I can start shooting at people. So I'll use this bush as extra camo. Now you don't have to always be directly in the bush. If you're close enough to it, you get more camo. So before you fire your shot, that is. And you're harder to detect. But since I'm moving my hull, I might get spotted sooner. Just waiting for the enemy. Oh. Yeah, I want to make sure I'm in siege mode. I was trying to lock the hull, but I forgot you can't lock the hull on this tank. Decided to take a pot shot at the GW Panther to get him out of the game. Because even though artillery is not very effective in this kind of field, getting rid of artillery is a very strategic goal in this game for the enemy team. To not have that is a huge bonus. And the AMX got him. Nice. I'm going to move. Well, I was about to move up, but Type 59 appeared. That's a premium Chinese medium tank. It was one of the first premium tanks that was flooded into the game, and it was like massive amounts of them years ago. They were extremely popular back then. They're not as popular today, but you'll still encounter them. No, the team is killing them faster than I can maneuver, so I'm going to move up more. So I can actually get some shots in. There's no point in making profit if you can't move up, you know. So I'm gonna get up in there. I'm gonna see what's up here. I don't want to get flanked on the side, so I better move up anyways, because if I stay there, there's gonna be like 8 tanks coming in at once, and that's not good scenario for any tank in the game. So I'm also gonna test in non-siege mode if I can hit anything. Let's see, can you actually fire your gun? Oh, yes, you can. Oh, impressive. It's very inaccurate, though. I mean, that was just a lucky shot. But you can fire your gun in travel mode, but you're going to be having a really hard time. That's what it looks like. So, that's only good for, like, sub 300 meter range. But, gosh, I would not want to be in non-siege mode the whole time when I want to fire. Alright. Okay, let's get siege mode and get this tank. Yeah, that was a good shot on the T-34-3. That is a premium tank, I believe. Chinese, I think, or Russian. I think it's a Chinese version of the T-34 with a massive gun. Slow rate of fire. It's a fun brawling medium. It's very fragile though with its modules, so when you get hit, your modules get damaged more frequently because of the compactness. So I'm going to switch back to siege mode and slowly advance with the team. We're pushing into them good. Yeah, I just have to flip-flop the siege and travel mode more frequently. That's the other thing I learned. So I guess sometimes it's okay to be more active in the Swedish tank destroyer. Now that I know you can fire in travel mode too, that opens up the door for certain things. But I don't expect the accuracy to be good, if at all. So let's chase after this Japanese Oho. That's a tier 8 heavy with a massive gun usually. Sometimes they'll have the higher DPM version. He's just getting swarmed, holy smokes. I can't possibly miss him, but our object decided to kill him instead. That's hilarious. I didn't take any damage, which is good. Sometimes not taking damage also helps with your profit too. Probably won't earn as much because, one, I didn't know how aggressive to be, because it's the first time I played this particular Swedish tank destroyer, so I didn't know how far up I can move or how far down. It's like I have to get familiar with it. And doing these siege and unsiege mode also plays a part of the strategy. So I'll see you in the garage. Alright, and we're back in the garage. Let's see how much we earned. because it was a win, earned 21,203 credits. Not bad. This tank I actually earned some decent money in, partly because I'm surviving, and I'm actually doing damage, which is really good. So I'll see you in the next match and go from there. Alright, and we're back. So this map, Ellenberg. This map was changed about 2 or 3 times from memory, and it is assault mode, so this is actually really good for tank destroyer. Basically, I just have to defend the base, I think. Yeah, they have to defend the base and go from there. So, seems like the whole team's going that way. I'm gonna stick in travel mode and just drive around and see what to do. Because this is a good open field map, which could be a great match or a terrible match depending on how I get spotted or not. So I'm gonna be a little bit more aggressive. See what this tank can do, playing it a little bit closer support. So I'll switch to siege mode and sit here and look around. Just have to wait for tanks to show up, because that's the part of tank destroyer play you have to do. You have to look for targets and wait for them to come usually, because they're snipers. They're like a direct fire sniper. That's what the general role of a tank destroyer is. They use their guns on average for most nations are usually more accurate, a little more rate of fire, but they don't always have armor, or if they do, they're usually more like a semi-direct approach. For example, the Russians have like a direct fire support kind of idea for some of their tank destroyers, whereas other nations like Sweden is more of like a range or high shell velocity for the type of guns they use. So I'm going to go in a little bit closer and switch to siege mode and see what's over here. Just gonna slowly advance. See, this is a big risk because I have no idea what's past H5 on the mini-map here with my green radar looking symbol. That's my view range. White is the draw distance, which is 750 meters, and yellow is my radio coverage, I believe, if I remember correctly. You know what, I probably should look at the settings because I may have gotten the white and yellow ring confused. But I definitely know green is your raw view range. That's what you can see. This is quite precarious. Let's see if I can get a shot onto this patent using siege mode. Because I have hydroponic suspension, maybe I can climb up. Nope. So try having more engine power. Nope. This will not work. Oh, this is gonna be hilarious. I'm gonna do a drive-by. Like that. And then get out of here. Get me out of here, Scotty. Run. Oh gosh, that drive-by was not a good idea. Artillery decided to join the party on me. This tank doesn't accelerate quite as fast as I anticipated. I mean, it has a 16.9 power to weight ratio. I'm sure the credit one of this line is probably a little quicker. That's usually the case. The premium vehicles are usually like a 50% upgraded variant. They'll usually have some differences. So this team's doing pretty good. And let's see. Whoop. Oh no, I got slammed. I was trying to switch to the mode to fire back, but that didn't work. Alright, and we're back. So another win. Wow. Let's see how much money we made on that one. 15,000. Okay. Well, this tank definitely earns actually almost more than the low, even though I'm still getting to grips with it. I mean, I'm not doing the greatest, but I'm still learning this particular tank. because it is much different than what I'm used to driving. I'm used to driving mediums and heavies and lights. That's usually what I'm more familiar with occasional tank destroyer play. That's usually what I prefer to play. So let's go to one more match and see how I do. See you on the battlefield. Alright, and we're back. So this is another different battle mode. This is encounter. So basically both teams try to race to either the flag or go to the quarters of the map. That's what the mode basically is in a nutshell. But the cap time takes a really long while, even when you have more than 3 tanks hitting the circle. But I don't want to go into the town. This is a tank that's not really made for brawling, so I'm going to switch to siege mode and get around this corner. There is 1 artillery on the field. The lineup is going to be tricky, but I have the gun advantage still against most of these tanks. Just not necessarily always on DPM though. So let's go into siege mode and see if I can hit that Lancing. That French premium tank has an autoloader. Doesn't look like I can't do much yet, so I'm going to sit here for a little bit and wait for something to show up, because I do have some support here. But it's going to be tricky because we have 2 tanks waiting on F5, so I don't want to go past there. Don't want to get caught out by those 2 tanks. I don't know what the even 90's deciding to do, but I guess he's relocating. Takes a little while for a match to unfold in this kind of environment. And this map is Runingberg. This map was changed about 2 times since I first played this game. I'd say this is like a 50-50 map. Sometimes you can have some good fun, even in a tank destroyer like this, or it could be miserable. Just depends on the lineup and how you do. So the object's going in. Spotted some tanks over there. I mean, I want to move up a little more, so let me switch to, I keep hitting the wrong key. Let me switch to travel mode and relocate myself here. So that way I can go faster. Yeah, I just trying to get the grips with how this tank plays. And sometimes I do a little bit too much conserve versus push, because the mentality for me is to go in there and do stuff, but this tank you have to kind of play a wait and see approach way more often. So let's see. Lobo Asino. Let's take a shot. Nope, that didn't work. I thought that was going to connect, but even with that fast shell travel speed, he ducked under cover just at the last second. Interesting. Let's see. So I'm just going to have to travel and see what's over here. I'm going to try taking some shots down that alley, because now it's clearly not defended. Most of the tank destroyers are into town, so I should be safe to do that. So let me see what's over here. My view range isn't the greatest, so I could easily get caught out here. So let me take a peek into the town. So let me get in there. I know there's a tank over there. Standard B has an Italian auto reloader, so he can out DPM me briefly. We hit the attention to position with the T key just to let him know. It's like, hey guys, there's a tank here.
Support my position.
Oh, whoops.
Much obliged.
Wow, I was using their new communication tool. I was just pointing around the key binding on that. Oh, I'm getting flanked. Yeah, I gotta move. I'd rather face one than like a couple. What? We both bounced. Holy moly. APCR will do that sometimes. Whoops. There we go. Now we got 2v1, which is good. Now that I moved in, I'll help him out. My dispersion is not that great. Oh gosh. I don't know what he's doing. Alright, well, thank you. Good play from the Object 430 to help me out there. That was definitely... Oh, alright. So, in those short amount of battles, let's see what we did here. It's going to take a while for it to update for battle number 4. I know it's a small sample size doing this, but I don't want the videos to be ridiculously long. I'm trying to shoot it for 25 minutes ideally or under as I'm learning YouTube. So let's see here in 3 matches, this particular tank did 75,355 gross, and net we came away with 55,000. Let's see the detailed breakdown. The ammunition cost actually isn't too bad. I mean, I did miss some shots too, but it wasn't bad. Oh, there we go. Oh, it was a defeat. That was like my best match, so gross we did 96,747 and actual profit was 65,333. And this is with no boosters, no premium. That's what I want to do. It's just raw, just a pure raw data. That's what I want. And combat experience wasn't too bad. I overall I'd say this tank is actually more fun, at least to me, with the kind of playstyle I prefer doing. Tanks I can actually sneak around with once in a while than being constantly spotted and hammered by everybody. That concealment really helps too when you put on a camo like this, because that boosts your detectability, so you get spotted much less frequently. And overall, I'd say the gun is good. It definitely was consistent. It hit targets as best as I could. Mobility is a little lackluster for a tank that relies so much on camo and speed. It doesn't get up to speed as fast as I want it to be, even though it's 100% crew, but it is still good. I definitely would spend some money on this tank if you wanted to grind out the Swedish premium tank line. If you want to get those tank destroyer crews leveled up faster, this is definitely not a bad crew trainer. And it teaches you the aspects of the tier 8 to 10 Swedish tank destroyer play. So I'd definitely be more inclined to play this tank than the low, ironically, because of that. And so that's it for this video. I also covered Jalopy in Forza Horizons 4, and I might be covering other games in the future. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to make more World of Tanks videos as well. This is Rigsters Journey, signing off.